What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD1GD here, back again with PlayStation Source. Of course, we are here once again with the weekly Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2 podcast, Road to Part 2. And with me, of course, my co-host, Starks. How you doing?
I'm well.
That was a long, pregnant pause. I was just going to ride with it. I was going to keep it going.
Yeah.
I just want to see how long the pause could go. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. It's just because I was watching your video of you and it was delayed, so I thought I was lagging.
You were watching a video of me. Oh,
yeah,
like on Discord.
You guys' cameras are on.
I see. Yeah. They're a little framey, but
your camera.
Beside.
But anyways, yeah, I'm well.
I'm
okay.
All good. Everything's been all good. You've been playing some games lately, have you?
I haven't. I've been taking the day off or some days off. I've just been, I trashed Death Stranding the other day and people were mad at me. So
I saw that. I saw you had a ton of dislikes. I'm like, yo. I'm like, boys.
I have like 30 dislikes and like 7 likes, which is hilarious.
And I'm like, yo, wait. I'm pretty sure I've been just as like critical of Death Stranding. I
think you're more optimistic than me, though.
I mean, I just think like the concept of connecting these cities again,
ridiculous.
Oh, I mean, I just think that like sounds pretty intriguing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Really?
So like
Okay.
my main motivation, I know this isn't a Death Stranding podcast, but like my main foray into getting this game is I just want to know what it is. Like, I want to know what it's about.
Yeah,
but
same.
on top of that, I want to know for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Right.
like, although there are outlets that I trust, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, Kind of Funny's outlet, I generally trust a lot. IGN, for the most part, some things I don't align with on IGN a lot, but like overall speaking, I pretty much, trust IGN's point of view and stuff like that. But
Right.
I think with this game, plus with this game being my first Kojima game, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely wanting to know what Death Stranding is about, so that's kind of my thing. But I told you, but like with your point of view being a little more negative, as well as our homie BG Broken Games HD, being very, very, I won't say negative, but pretty on the, I mean okay, he might be a bit negative. Yeah. I mean, I totally understand y'all point, you know what I'm saying? Because like BG recently said that they've shown
Nothing.
No, that's not true, Sarks. They showed 50 minutes of gameplay.
But
and
like we still don't really
exactly
yeah.
And like we still don't know what's going on like in a whole, you know what I'm saying? And then yeah. So I mean, I get that point of view 100%, totally get it. I'm just a little bit more like, I just want to know what it is, I don't want to make a judgment of of just looking at gameplay. I want to play it for myself, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
And that's coming up soon here, I'll tell you. But while that's coming out November 8th, what came out this morning was quite interesting. Now, I think we should start from the beginning of this week, right? Can I just go through the events of what happened here, right? So,
Sure.
I believe, who was it? Was it Nibel? Was it Tidux? Was it?
Was it Jason? It's Jason, I think.
No.
If I think I know what you're talking about.
There was. I mean, I'm talking here. I'm gonna scroll back on our Discord. There was a person that tweeted out like, "Hey, something's going down." You know what I'm saying? Something is going down with. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Daniel Ahmad, Z Huge X.
Oh,
him. Yeah. Him again. One of, I feel like there are people like Daniel, for example. Nibel is one of them on Twitter. Tidux as well, one of them on Twitter, that like they seem to have very, very good insiders. I don't know if they have the same insider, but they tend to know things before they come to fruition, or at least come to the public's perspective, right? So we had Daniel Ahmad tweet out, looks like we might hear some unexpected news about a Sony first-party title soon. And this was yesterday as of this recording, so that was Wednesday, October 23rd, he tweeted this. And he got some backing by Jason Schreier as well. That was like, yo, something's definitely going down, with a Sony first party game. Now, when you first heard this, what was your thought? Like, who did you like? What do you think was going down? Yeah. please.
Well, to be specific, I think my thought was was Ghost of Tsushima,
That was mine too.
and
Yeah.
but Christian, a you know, Christian mentioned something around the lines that, oh, they can't, possibly delay the game because it never had an official release date, which is true. But I think if you look at, like, I still think they can push a game for further without actually delaying it. Like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be considered delayed; it would just be considered pushed back, I guess.
Absolutely, because while Ghost never had a concrete date, right? That is very true. It was said publicly by Sony that, hey, Ghost is a PS4 title. It is a PS4 game,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like from the context of that, they could quote unquote delay or push Ghost of Tsushima into PS5, and that would be its hypothetical delay.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, now for sure. Now 100%. Like, Ghost is not coming out on Ghost is not coming out in a gaming landscape where the PS5 is not released yet.
I'm thinking what would be the major fall release though, because after June it's like, you have August to, December.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I mean that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Ghost of Tsushima 100% is a launch style for PS5. At this point, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Same.
100%. But going back to it, right? I forgot where we left off. But Jason Schreier just, kind of, definitely, definitely was kind of supporting I hate Discord, was supporting the comments by our boy Z Hugex, you know what I'm saying? And then we got an interesting post today, right? Well, actually, before we get to the post, there was pretty much confirmed, like, hey, Last of Us got delayed, right? And
yeah,
I was like, man, dude, damn. Like, we'll get into our thoughts on the actual delay, but let me read to us Neil Druckmann, of course, the game's director, the infamous Neil Druckmann of Naughty Dog. Sorry, Neil Druckmann.
And vice president.
Yeah, you're right. And vice president. He says, oh, also, link to this in the description as well for y'all to read for yourselves and gather your own opinions. To our fans, let me cut to the chase and get the news out of the way. The Last of Us Part 2 has a new release date of May 29th, 2020. I know it was just about a month ago. We had our big blowout for the game, letting media play over 2 hours of it, along with debuting our new story trailer revealing the release date. The positive response we saw from our community was overwhelming. You can feel the energy among the team members after working on something for so many years. It's invigorating to get a glimpse of validation for all of the hard work. However, it was during the last few weeks as we were closing out sections of the game that we realized we simply didn't have enough time to bring the entire game up to a level of polish we would call Naughty Dog quality. At this point, we were forced with two options: compromise parts of the game or get more time. We went with the latter, and this new release date allows us to finish everything to our level of satisfaction while also reducing stress on the team. While we're relieved that we won't have to compromise our vision, we're disappointed that we weren't able to avoid this exact situation. We wish we could have foreseen the amount of polish we needed, but the size and scope of this game got the better of us. We hate disappointing our fans, and for that, we're sorry. We hope you understand that this additional time ensures that The Last of Us Part 2 lives up to our collective ambition as well as our commitment to the highest level of quality. We know the extra few months will add to what may already be an excruciating wait for all of us. We are grateful for your patience and continued support. Come next May, you will finally rejoin Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2.
Woo!
It's official. It's delayed. Yeah. And now, our bets episode... Wait, did one of us already win one of the bets? Because did one of us bet that? Oh, hold on, dude. I got the document. Let me see here. Where is it?
Good.
But while
keep track of that.
I mean, while I look for the bets document, tell me your thoughts on this delay. How you feel about it? You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, one thing I want to keep straight right here is I'm happy about the delay. I'm thrilled. I'm pleased by that decision. Did I see it coming? I don't think I did, but I know deep inside I internalized in a way this pain and disaster of February 2020 to release date for The Last of Us Part 2. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I wasn't ready to get up out of my house during a blizzard, a snowstorm here in Ontario, Canada, to go get this game, as well as the fact that I've got school, plus the fact that the theme for The Last of Us just doesn't feel like a February date. I feel like something a little more casual should be kept for that. And look, Final Fantasy, it's a casual game for casual people, and that has no
Wow.
truth to it. Boy, the
That's a
matter is,
statement.
I'm actually pretty happy by the delay.
Wow,
I'm
yo,
sorry.
you just made a lot of people mad with that statement, bro. A lot of people love Final Fantasy 7. But so according to our predictions, our release date in case of a delay was March 20th and March 27th. Why did we not consider May? Did we think it was too far?
I thought it was way too far.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
May, like that gives them an additional, like, let's be real here, March and then April. Let's say just an additional 2 months, I'd say, just because by May they should be done.
Yeah. It is
So I'm
actually
like, 2 months was kind of a long time. I don't know why. Personally, I don't know why we delayed it just March, because if you look at the track record of Uncharted 4, right? Wasn't it? Well, it came out. When did it come out? It come out
Uncharted
May.
came out in May. Yeah, in May.
So, but at some point, didn't they say it was gonna come out later than that? And then they brought it, like, I think they said June 2016, and then they said May.
Oh,
Right?
oh man, I don't remember that. I know the game got delayed at least 2 or 3 times. It got
Three times.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
obviously Uncharted 4 was under different circumstances. The studio was going
Right.
through a lot of like growing pains, and essentially the team that was working on Last of Us 2 did have to kind of put Last of Us 2 on hold and go and help Uncharted 4 to get it launched that year in 2016. 2016?
Yeah, 20. Yeah.
It was 2016 or 2015?
Well, it came out in
Whatever the case.
2016.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. But I know. Because Uncharted 4 had such kind of like a rough launch, it definitely
Yeah, man.
stifled Last of Us 2. But it looks like,
Absolutely.
yeah. So it does look like they will be getting an additional 2 months, because if you do the math on paper, it is 3 months, but it takes a month to print discs onto Blu-ray and to distribute them and stuff like that.
Promotion, marketing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah, so if you take off a month, they have an extra 2 months, which does to me indicate that they are being truthful in the fact that like it is just for polish. Like it's not like it's anything crazy. A lot of people were saying on Twitter that this could be them adding multiplayer into the game, which I would cry. But thank you, the boy Billy
Oh,
over here,
thank
giving us the
you,
date.
thank you. I was looking for that.
Fire.
I was on the trailer. So we have, I know when it came out, but we wanted to. So the original date for Uncharted 4. Thank you to Billy, who's also in the Discord. We didn't bring context a little earlier, but I was laughing because Billy was doing something off camera, or off recording here, and I commented, and then his reaction. That's why I was laughing. So there's another person in the call. Anyway. May 10th of 2016 is when Uncharted 4 released, right? However, the original date, I think was the 18th of March. So yeah, so basically an extra month. But I don't think that was the first original date though. I think it was supposed to come out in oh god.
I don't remember, but
Yeah.
I mean, long story short, Uncharted 4 had a ton of delays, obviously for different reasons.
Pretty much.
I don't feel like the Last of Us Part 2 is in some sort of like development hell that Uncharted 4 in a way was. I wouldn't call it development hell, but it was definitely a rough development. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Definitely rough. Definitely not typically what we see out of Naughty Dog development cycles. But I mean, here's the thing, right? I always forget who coined this phrase. Christian knows off the top of his head. I believe it was a Nintendo executive or a Nintendo developer or something like that. But there's a famous quote that now is just like should be on stone somewhere, right? Is that it's something along the lines of a delayed game is never worse than what it originally was. You know what I'm saying? Like, a game being delayed almost never, ever makes the game worse than what it could have been without a delay. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the delay, at the end of the day, right? Any game that gets a delay is a better product day one, right? Than what it could have been without a delay, right? So with that logic, everyone should be, pleased about a delay, you know. But obviously, with the anticipation of this game, came out in 2013 on the PS3. It'll be 7 years the sequel comes out, you know. So I definitely understand that this game has taken a while. Obviously, they have multiple projects in between Last of Us, and Last of Us Part 2. They had Uncharted 4 as well as Uncharted Lost Legacy. You know what I'm saying? So there are those things to understand. But I can't wait, man. And now I wish I had a calendar of like the other games that were dropping, because it's not only so this day was very weird, right? Because we had a lot of other games also get pushed besides Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 2 I feel being the most prominent out of all the other games, but games such as God and Monsters, which I was very excited for. So excited for.
Me too.
Man.
I'm excited for
so excited for God. Oh man.
That was supposed to be for February, correct?
Yeah, that was right around Last of Us. Like, it was gonna be Last of Us and then Gods and Monsters like a few days after. But that got delayed. Watchdogs Legion, very, very excited for, also got delayed. And what was the other one? There was another
Watchdogs.
Ubisoft game.
Oh shoot. I forget.
I'm going back to my tweet. It was
Oh
4
boy.
games.
Here, I'll scroll up all the Discords.
Hold
on.
I should remember where. Hold on.
It's in Discord filler.
Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Oh, I was gonna say Rainbow Six. That's funny. Yeah. Rainbow. I don't know about that. Is that a DLC or an actual new game?
As far as I'm aware, that's mainly a PvE type of Rainbow Six game that is I believe involving single player and cooperative modes, and your yes, yeah. It's so we have.
If I remember correctly, I think it's a part of the game. I don't think it's a new whole game.
I thought it was a standalone, like, separate.
If I remember correctly, I don't play as much anymore, but from what I remember, I'm pretty sure that it's
that's
the
right.
game.
I want to look it up though, because I thought it was gonna be its own separate, like, $40 standalone experience that was mainly PvE, but it could be it could be part of PvP. I mean, it could be a part of Rainbow Six, which Rainbow Six is in the name, so I guess that makes sense. Maybe it is.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Yeah. It probably would make sense for that to be a part of Rainbow Six. Actually, that actually makes a lot more sense. But as like DLC, like a side mode, side extension to the game, that introduces cooperative play and stuff like that. But nonetheless, that also got pushed. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a very odd day. But obviously, the biggest one is the Last of Us delay. And honestly, I would be a lot less mad. And I mean, I'm not hold on. I'm not mad. I'm not mad this game got delayed. But I'd be a lot more at ease if it was for the multiplayer, Starks. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? If you're like, you know
what?
I
know.
We heard the outcries. We heard you guys' concern at not having multiplayer day one. We considered. We've reconsidered, and we're gonna bring it day one. I would cry.
Yeah, like, people are, in particular, who we mentioned earlier, BG, is insinuating that this delay will not complement the multiplayer in any regard. Like, it won't I don't think maybe 2 months, actually. Like, I see that as a possibility. Perhaps like the multiplayer being like some form of, like, I know this sounds ridiculous, but deals, like maybe DLC or something that's like very massive. But like, I know that a lot of people are saying that it's going to be a new game. Right? Like an entirely new game.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the way they worded that infamous multiplayer blog post that we went over on another episode of Road to Part 2, it sounded like they were making its own separate standalone type thing. you know, and that now if they were to say in that blog post that multiplayer is coming in a later update, it is coming to part 2, but it'll be a later update. We need to work on it, then I could see the idea of them delaying the game to implement multiplayer, aka factions, into Road to Part 2. No, not into Road to Part 2, into Last of Us Part 2. I could see that being more likely, but because they have said that, hey, the factions project grow, that sounds so sick. Naughty Dog saying we are working on the factions project.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a cool time. But nonetheless, the fact that they worded it like it was going to be its own separate thing, I don't believe this was for multiplayer, obviously. I believe this is for the vanilla Last of Us Part 2 game,
Yeah. We saw the disaster, or somewhat of a disaster. A lot of people considered it a disaster. The roadmap for Uncharted 4. Like, I know that was multiplayer side, but I guess the same could be applied for just content in general, ranging from story DLC to just how the game ends up performing, to multiplayer side, as we know that they're working on something in regards to multiplayer.
Right.
So I think with this delay, it gives them the flexibility to have their staff not feel like they're under pressure. That's one. Two, to polish the game and finish it out, and probably to work on some form of either story DLC or multiplayer, which is what I'm gonna bet. I mean, that's pretty much the only options, really. So
yeah,
I don't see it being anything else.
I agree, and also I think what's also something that we have even brought up is that how we do gotta commend Neil and commend the team at Naughty Dog for making this step, because I'm not sure if they're aware in themselves, or maybe they have this not necessarily a negative egotistical view of themselves, right? But if they were to stick with the February date, right, and whatever they wanted to polish or whatever they wanted to compromise, right, was compromised or was not polished, right, the game would still get 10s. You know what I'm saying? The version of Last of Us Part 2 coming out in May versus the Last of Us Part 2 coming out in February, I don't think would even make a difference score-wise. You know what I'm saying? At just how much, at how highly we regard Naughty Dog. But the fact that in spite of that, and whether they know that or not, they are still holding and delaying the game to make it a better product, I think speaks volumes to the culture around that studio, that they give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, it wasn't my tweet, but I read a tweet earlier today that someone was like, yo, y'all can feel sad about not being able to play Last of Us February. I won't get it for my birthday. It was my birthday present. But you know what I'm saying? But someone was like, yo, imagine how Neil feels. You know what I'm saying? Having to disappoint the fans already with no factions, right? And then on top of this as well. It's man.
Yeah. And they waited a whole year just to give us a release date, just to have that release date.
Exactly.
Go, hey, we gotcha, because it ain't coming until 2 months later. Exactly. So, you know what I mean? It's... Now, I'm not disappointed. I've already made that very clear.
Right.
It allows me to work on my school and put my couch little retainer thing up, put my legs up, and play the game for those months of May, because I won't have school.
I mean, I'll be graduate. I mean, so I was gonna be graduate out of the way, so I was ready to.
Yeah, so I feel bad for you because you gotta wait, but I don't gotta wait.
Yeah, and then I was gonna say, oh no, it's all good. I got Gods and Monsters that month. I got Watchdogs Legion in March. What's good? None of that now. Now I don't know what I'm playing anymore. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. To me, there's something that's strange. 3 games.
Yeah, I think
plus The Last of Us. Something's up.
I mean, I don't feel like they're at all connected. Obviously
no.
Ubisoft ones are connected.
Ubisoft.
Yeah,
Ubisoft. Yeah.
I know I say it wrong.
Ubisoft. No, I'm joking. I'm just
Ubisoft.
teasing. I'm just teasing.
Ubisoft. But I know those are connected, and like I know that is a story in itself that I would love to see. And I don't know if you even saw, but like they still have unannounced games that are dropping in Q1 of 2020 that aren't these games that are being pushed. So people are presuming that, all right, like that might be a new Far Cry, maybe that might be a new,
Gosh.
like I don't like. There's
I know they're doing something because I don't want to talk about this very quick. I just briefly, like, I was invited to a potential Ubisoft playtest demo.
Ooh, I do remember that. Yes, I do. I do remember you talking about that.
Yeah, so I know that they're doing something here in Toronto. Oh, I just said that's so Canadian. Toronto. Anyway, I'm sorry.
This exciting.
Yeah, I wonder what that game was, because obviously I didn't end up going, and I was just pre-selected. But nonetheless, like I'm curious. So something's probably coming for the first half, like you met Q1 of 2020.
Right.
But it's obviously not those games because I guess it's been confirmed that they're pushed. Like, I don't know. That's weird to me. Like 3 games just like that. That's odd.
It's very odd. I think
that makes sense that they might be working on a new Far Cry game. And then after, maybe it's gonna get its first. Sorry, not to cut you off, but its first like reveal at Game Awards, perhaps. Or Paris Game. Wait, no, Paris Games Week is over.
Wait,
no. Is it? No, it's no. It should be this week.
Paris Games Week. Oh wait, no, it is October time. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, we're shit. October's almost done. What?
Very odd. But one thing that if I may put my tinfoil hat on, do a little conspiracy, right? I know this is road to part 2, but I want to talk a little bit more about this Ubisoft stuff, right? And that is that perhaps due to them, because these also came out today, that there were statements from the Division 2 as well as Ghost Recon Breakpoint, that both of those games to them did not meet up to their expectations, right? And more prominently, Breakpoint really disappointed them.
Trash.
Sales-wise, right? And Division 2 not as bad, but still underperformed what they were expecting, right? So perhaps they could be at this position where, man, we have a brand new IP coming in February. Yes, it's by a team that made AC Odyssey. That was phenomenal game, right? So the hardcore gamers understand that, okay, Gods and Monsters likely to be good. If you like
it
Odyssey.
Looks beautiful.
Oh, it looks great, right? But the common person does not know that, right? Then we have this pretty new, well, I won't say new, but departure from the usual gameplay of Rainbow Six coming as well during the same time.
Yeah, it will kind of is nuanced.
And even though Rainbow Six does have a very devout fan base, who knows if they'll latch onto this either,
Yeah.
But what we do know what does sell is Far Cry. Far Cry sells. Far Cry is one of those games that charts consistently and does numbers for them.
I don't know why though.
I don't know why either. I don't think Far Cry is that good.
No
honestly,
offense.
I mean,
I played that jungle one.
Far Cry Primal?
Yeah, many years ago. Wait, no, it wasn't Primal. I forget, but
or
it was on the
4?
PlayStation 3.
Far Cry 3 was a banger though.
My bad. I was about to say the Far Cry game that Chris Move played was actually kind of fun, but that was Dead Island, so I'm just gonna go back.
Oh shit. Damn. Shout out Dead Island. But
Billy, you're so funny.
I thought Far Cry 5, was just fine, I played Far Cry 5 and then
how about the one with the New Dawn with the two girls?
One,
like that looked horrible.
Boys, I cannot lie to you. I swear on my life, I forgot that came out this year.
Yeah,
I forgot that came out this year.
Oh yeah, it did.
No, yes, it did. I know. Christian also forgot. I was like, Christian, that game came out this year. He's like, no fucking way. No, it didn't. I'm like, yeah, that was February. New Dawn was February. Yeah, it was a thing, and then no one, but like,
whoa, it's been since February. I thought it came.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
time goes by when you're
It's
doing nothing.
Nuts.
Yeah, so it's one of those games. Like I don't know. I think that did okay. Like in terms of reviews, I don't know, but I think it sold okay. Like you say, Far Cry tends to have a very consistent number, so it makes sense that they're doing something with Far Cry, because
But
I think Far Cry's and Watch Dogs are probably their two. No, maybe not Watch Dogs, but Far Cry is definitely up there.
and then to also add to the point as well, Watchdogs Legion. I think I don't know if they would have had any like any fear to drop that, or fear that it would not do as well. Off the top of my head, I forgot how Watch Dogs 2 did sales wise. Me personally, I loved Watch Dogs 2. I adore that game. I like that game more than Watch Dogs 1. I feel like you had to love Watch Dogs 1 or love Watch Dogs 2. I like them both, but I love Watch Dogs 2, right? But like the main thought process that I'm having is like, all right, what if they're pushing all of these experimental or more likely to fail games down in favor of something that will immediately get them more sales, a la Far Cry?
That makes sense. That's very strategic.
Due to Breakpoint tanking, Division 2 not doing as hot, they don't have Assassin's Creed out this year for this fall. They have Assassin's Creed probably coming out next fall for next gen. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
Ragnarok frame,
yeah. So I think maybe that is what I think is going on with the Ubisoft stuff. I think that makes the most sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
and we can even argue that perhaps some of these games will ship with the either be some form of bundle with the PlayStation 5. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know, because I find it strange. Like, why would they leave it, like, delay it or push it back from all the way just to have a new console? Like, they obviously know that PlayStation 5 is expected, like, all these different, both Xbox and PlayStation expected to release their new consoles next year. To have these games come out just a couple months before it, like, I don't think that's not gonna be in their favor. I don't think, and people aren't gonna be like, oh god, look, a new game, let me buy it before the PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2 comes out. You know what I mean? So right. I don't think that makes much sense, unless they're doing something, unless they have something going with these games coming out with the PlayStation 5, which I think would make sense to me. I don't know.
Maybe,
but yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, I know we talked about Ubisoft for like
I just realized this is
but I guess I don't know. I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase this, but is there any specific quality that you want to see better polished that you saw in the gameplay trailers for Last of Us Part 2? Like, is there anything in the gameplay that you thought was kind of wonky, maybe like would like to see changed in the final build?
Absolutely.
You may
Absolutely.
proceed.
When I was looking at the gameplay of Ellie, now I watched most of the gameplay of her in this like suburbs area.
Right.
It did not look. I'm gonna be honest. It looked downgraded. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh no, it's not downgraded," but by the look, and maybe it's just the lighting, perhaps some of the graphical difference between the E3 of 20 whatever it was 18
yeah.
To now, it just didn't look as good. I'm gonna be quite honest. And then there was a time where Ellie got caught by a dog sniffed her and she was running. That animation, I'm being like, I don't want to be mean here, but it didn't look good. The animation looks so like, I can't believe I'm saying this right now. Please don't twist this on me. But
no.
Anyone who's no, not you, but the people who are watching, because I don't want people to be like, oh, he doesn't like Naughty Dog. I love Naughty Dog, but it just didn't look. It didn't look beautiful.
Right.
And that's what I mentioned to a couple people, that it looks like Naughty Dog is focusing a lot more on the gameplay side. I mean, they're obviously focused on story as well, but the thing with Naughty Dog is they tend to have like something like a balance between gameplay and narrative, story. And it kind of intertwines with each other. And The Last of Us just kind of looks a little bit more all over the place. It just looks all over the place.
I see.
If I'm being quite honest, because it just looks all over the place.
Yeah.
So I hope they change that a bit. They won't. But
Right. I mean, like, I feel like I don't. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I totally understand your point and understand your point of view and stuff like that. But I also am very wary of because I mean no, because the argument I'm about to say falls apart super easily. Because I was about to say that you know it's also dependent on the way the actual gameplay is compressed and how it looks. But we've seen clear instances of games getting downgraded. You know what I'm saying? The most infamous one of this generation was Watchdogs.
Oh, Ubisoft games. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
No,
most
I'm
of
joking. I'm
Ubisoft
joking.
games,
I'm
you
just
know.
teasing.
Yeah, I mean that's there's some truth to that point, you know. Back
Yeah.
in the day, I'd say before Watch Dogs 2 came out, you know, that Ubisoft definitely was down for all right, let's show some PC RTX 1080, you know, the highest tier PC. Let's show that at E3 and then give them this bootleg shit on PlayStation 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like that's like that has happened before, regardless of whatever platform like the gameplay dropped on, whatever compression they're using. It's happened before, right?
Right.
But I'm trying to think like of what I would want polished. Honestly, I think still my biggest issue with Last of Us Part 2 footage that I've seen is not even a part of the gameplay element yet. It's just the way Joel looks, man. I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
I
he
don't
looks
know
different.
what is going on.
Very
Like,
different.
like I don't like. He doesn't look like Joel to me. Like he looks
Yeah.
like an elderly Nathan Drake. On God, like his character model looks like Nathan Drake old. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he kind of does.
100%.
Like almost like a combination. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I think
I see.
I think I'm going crazy. Like I don't know if like I'm tripping or because I've had a few people agree
Yeah,
with
if you're
me.
tripping, we're both tripping.
I guess so. I don't know. I guess we off the lean. I don't know. But I've seen people disagree and agree with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then other people say that like, hey, you know, maybe that is Joel, you know, in between the 20 years that we see Last of Us happen. You know, like maybe that's not an older Joel. You know what I'm saying? But I just think like the total like facial structure and the shape of his face, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't compute. I don't know. You know? I don't know. But
Yeah, like I see what you mean, definitely.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that would be my biggest like visual complaint with part 2 as of right now. You know, I think everything else looks beautiful. I think one of the biggest things I can praise for right now with the game is animations. I think those look insanely good. When Ellie's upgrading her weapons on the crafting table, that looks so good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that looked beautiful.
yeah, and like some of the contextual animations where if she's sprinting, she'll like grab and reach out a bottle as opposed to the Last of Us that we have right now. It'll kind of just like your character will like do like a little side thing and it'll just disappear. You know what I'm saying? And go into your and go like into your bag, whatever. With part 2, we like see them physically grabbing the item. You know. And
yeah,
like,
that's neat.
yeah,
That's
so
very
like
neat.
there's a lot of like really, really neat looking stuff, but I just can't get over Joel's face, man. I don't know. Yeah, so I would like to see. I don't know if Paul's. I don't even know if they'll even address that. I don't even know because I mean like it looks good enough. Like I understand that. Yeah, like that is Joel. It just doesn't look like him that much.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. But I'm trying to think of like what else. Do you think if
Factions question.
a factions question?
Oh, yeah. No, do you have a different question? I thought maybe you're gonna ask the factions like yes or no whether we think we're gonna get it.
I guess like no, I don't think we'll get factions at all anytime near the game launches. I think
Okay.
I still believe that we will get it in the fall. I think we will get it by the time PS5 comes out. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe one of their launch incentives for PS5 is that part 2 is on there. Maybe not exclusive to PS5, right? But launching the PS5, hey, also today you can play factions
For free?
multiplayer day 1. Yeah, I mean, who
Yeah,
knows?
that's
you know,
definitely a big incentive.
like like at least put Naughty Dog in the minds of gamers getting a PS5 day one. You know, I think that'd be a very
Yeah,
very
like
good thing to do.
you have this option. Like when you get the PlayStation 5, boom, out of the gate, you have 3 games that you can buy, or sorry, that you can get that's free. One of which is a PlayStation exclusive. So Factions, and then of course Fortnite and Apex Legends, which I think are still free. I hope. But,
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah.
yeah.
But I guess my last question I have for you, Starks, my fucking boy,
Ooh.
is what feature? Let's say okay, let's remove time constraints. Let's remove like is this feasible? Just what feature would you like to see added to part 2 because of this delay? Right? And like you don't have to tie it to like, hey, like I would like this, but I don't think 2 months will be applicable to be able to do that. Just what feature would you like to see in part 2 that they haven't said already? You know?
Well, that's a hard one.
It is a hard one.
I don't know what I would want specifically.
I'm just thinking for myself.
Because, like, in my opinion, it's like I don't even know what this 2 months will give them time to really do. So, like, I if I had a clear understanding of what exactly they're polishing, perhaps, but I think they're probably working on like the animation, definitely the animation side, and lighting. I like to see addressed a little bit more, because what I need to show you the clip, but when she's running, she just looks odd.
I see.
Like it's just so animation.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like very deep, very close up animation. I just mean animation in general, from moving, just the fluidity of the gameplay, and of course lighting.
I see.
And how that might be addressed.
And then
yeah,
and then also not to discredit your point, but also to add like perhaps a little like to bring a little context to perhaps the footage that you're addressing, right? We don't know if that is the current build of the game. By all means, that could be the same build that was from like May of this year.
Yeah.
And they're showing that because that's the most stable build they have, perhaps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That's
like
a fair point.
maybe there are builds that they are working on currently that have better animations and stuff like that, but they're just maybe is missing something.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a
know.
fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Just to play devil's advocate here. But I'm trying to think if I would want a feature. What would I add to part 2 that they haven't said already? Huh. You know what actually I would like to see? I would like to see a nemesis system into The Last of Us.
I beg your pardon?
Okay, so a nemesis system, it was introduced in a few games, but the most prominent game it was released in was Shadow of Mordor, that came out a few years ago. I believe in 2015. Right. I believe it's in the Lord of the Rings lore. I believe. I believe, right? I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So what would happen there is that if, let's say, you were to be in combat with an NPC, right, and you don't kill him, but you just injure him, right? He will remember your name. He will remember what you did to him, and hours down the road in the game, he will call you by name, and he'll be like, "Yo, remember when you did this, that, and the third to me way back there, hours ago? I'm here. Where's the smoke?" You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that'd be
like,
interesting.
yeah, like they did that in that game, and it was like the coolest thing I've ever heard. Right? I didn't play it, but it was the coolest thing I've ever heard. So I think it'd be really cool if like people remembered the wolf. Oh my god, I just got chills. If people like
that's a cool detail.
Wow. If like people like remembered Ellie, like maybe people that were in the first game, like, hey, you're that fucking kid that was with that old man that killed my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would be dope. I think that'd be
that sounds
cool.
like a pretty interesting feature. So you're talking features, like system features. Sorry, I thought you meant like what would I like to see like changed, I guess, in a way, just based on. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I totally asked that wrong. Yeah. I feel you. Yeah. Which I guess could
I don't
be
know,
like syllabus script. Whatever. Let's go.
I feel like I don't know. I'd say definitely. I like what God of War did, where they had like customizations, player customizations. Now the only issue with that is like I know nowadays Naughty Dog's very detailed and really wants to be acknowledged as such. And why not? Fair enough. So I hope that there's some form of almost like an RPG system, Lunix. And I know we're gonna get that based off of craftables, different guns and stuff that we can upgrade and whatnot, which looks to be way more improved than the first game. A lot of emphasis, a lot of depth to that, and I hope the way we get some form of like actual player customizations, like maybe we can change a just I don't know something. I don't know, freaking something that Ellie wears or something like similar to what they did with Uncharted 3,
I see. I see.
and Uncharted 4. But maybe I guess maybe it's done where after you complete the game, you get that option for if you want to play it again. I don't know. I don't know.
I like that. I like that. A little cosmetic tweaks. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah, because God of War had it and it seemed cool.
Yeah, I feel that. I hated in God of War those like full body chest pieces that he had. I just didn't like.
Oh, they were expensive.
I just liked I liked the way Kratos looked at the beginning of the game. Like that.
Nah,
like,
so do I. But I had to customize, dude. It was just cool.
I like the chest strap type deal that he had while his biceps were still exposed. You know what I'm saying? And like
I love
whatever
that. I need to
bottoms
play this game again.
But like I hated how he
Bottoms
looked in like the like bulky chest. I hated that shit. I never put and like I recognize that like those were higher level chest, higher level pieces that would probably help me out in the game. But I legit didn't wear them just because I didn't like how they looked. I fucking hated
I
it.
wish they had multiplayer in that game.
When he would put on those big chest pieces, he looked like Aquaman from Justice
Oh
League.
yeah. You're right.
Terrible.
Looked like
Hey, Aquaman looks beautiful.
Oh my god! You know what I just
Okay.
thought about the prospect of Road to Ragnarok.
Wait, what?
Road to Ragnarok, the weekly God of War podcast. What we doing?
Oh.
Let's go.
Oh, that sounds hype.
Road to Spider-Man 2. Fire.
Dude, God of
Fire.
War was great. It was a challenge though.
Fucking love God of War.
I would never replay it. But
Never. Interesting.
I mean, I was in the process of replaying and I was like, oh, okay, let me delete it now. And I did. Because it was just way too hard for my life.
Can we do a series? The race to give me God of War completion?
Ooh. Dude, I would
beat you.
I would be horrible.
I saw the way Kevin played that. Their gameplay the other day.
That was my first time playing.
Yeah, but dude, I was not that clueless the first time I played the game.
Oh my god. What? I will, bro. Name me a multiplayer
You
game.
look
I will
so clueless. I was like, what is this guy doing?
You know what? 1v1 Modern Warfare tonight. I will smoke your ass, dog.
Is it a free game?
Huh?
Is it free?
No,
Because I'm not buying that full price. You crazy?
Oh my god, bro. See, bro, I cannot stand this slander, but nonetheless. Any closing thoughts on this delay, Starks? What do you got to say about Last of Us Part 2 being delayed until March?
Based off of the post,
May.
Dreckman does seem kind of upset by it, so I hope whatever's going on that they can really, give the employees the additional support, because obviously, there's been people who came out saying all sorts of stuff about how it's tough and whatnot, and it's expected. It's a game company, for crying out loud. But I hope that they have the flexibility to not to do like these crazy hour shifts and to really polish the game and make it be as best as it can. And yeah, I'm excited. May 20 whatever. Cool. I'll be out of school, I hope.
May 29th.
Hopefully I'll be 29th. Hopefully I'll be graduated by then. So yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. A game is never worse when it gets delayed. As long as you have that in mind, we'll be all good. As I said before, Last of Us Part 2, if it dropped tomorrow, if it dropped when it was supposed to, February 21st, what is dropping now, May 29th, I have no doubt in my mind that the game still would have been a 10. You know what I'm saying? It still is going to be good. We gonna be alright. We just gotta wait a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's that. I give also the hugest kudos to the boys there at Naughty Dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a game developer. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that working on something for years and just wanting it to be out and wanting people and wanting to get that feedback. Wanting to fuel the fandom, right? Mm-hmm. I get how having that weight is not only hard on the fans, but also hard on the people that want to bring it to the fans. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah, I mean, I feel for them that like they can still make that call and delay it to have a better product for us at the end of the day, you know. So, shout out to Naughty Dog, shout out to Neil, and I have no doubt that the game will still be great. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this delay. What are you guys' thoughts on it? What do you guys want to see this delay coming to fruition? Do you have any feature ideas that, you know, and again, the feature thing is a bit hypothetical. Obviously, none of these things will be added in 2 months. These things take a lot more time than 2 months. But if you want to see just right in the future, let me know what you guys think. And also, what improvements do you want to see within the 2 months that you have seen in the gameplay? Let me know what you guys want to see on that standpoint in the comments below. Starks, where can the people find you?
Well, people, if you're still watching, thank you. Of course, you can find me on YouTube and or Twitter. And yeah, how about you?
You can follow me at Twitter at the KDS123. Follow me on there, as well as here, of course, on PlayStation Source. You know, with the Cross Circle podcast, as well as this podcast, Road to Part 2, on a weekly basis, as well as some other stuff. You know, this week we had a Concrete Genie review go up. Check out that. You know, we got this PlayStation music thing going on in future PlayStation games. Check out that on the channel. A bunch of other stuff too. You can go check out the channel as well. And of course, down below in the description, you can find our different links to our other social media platforms, as well as Twitter and Discord most prominently, as well as our anchor link down below, where you can listen to our long form content, that being of course Road to Part 2, this show, as well as Cross Circle podcasts on a weekly basis in audio podcast format, that being of course on platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, as well as Spotify and the other big podcast services. All you gotta do is search PlayStation Source podcast feed and you'll be able to listen to us in audio format. Billy, do you want an outro? Outro, my man, come on, bro. Get look at him get up. Look at him get up out the seat. He might do his out.
Why now?
I was waiting for you to say something.
Oh.
I'm not gonna outro. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna leave the people with a piece of information.
Okay.
A little quote that I got from a nice man named Ren from Corridor Digital. Okay. He did a TED talk recently at a Pennsylvania State University, where he talked about CGI in movies, right? And he ended it saying, "A movie is never finished; it's just released." I would assume, I would wager that piece of information relates to video games as well. Video games are never finished; they're just released. Respect what they release. Thank you.
Interesting. I disagree with that hypothesis, but okay.
Ooh, we can talk about that later, but that's a spicy topic.
We fucking?
But I want y'all both to do this outro with me. Thank you for watching, and as always,
greatness awaits.
Billy, what the hell happened?
Were we supposed to say that together? Were we supposed to say?
I want y'all to say it in unison, like greatness awaits.
Unison?
Yeah,
like unisex? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, greatest awaits.
Billy missed it again. You know what? I hate both of you.
I wasn't even ready for your countdown.
All right, I want to do it one more time. Thank you for watching, and as always,
greatness awaits.
Close enough.
Right.